Hello and welcome to another edition of Bombchu News. My name is Chris and I'll be covering the news that I found interesting today. DayZ is finally entering the beta stage. After spending 5 long years in an early access alpha build, DayZ has officially launched version 0.63 as a beta version of the game. Bohemia Interactive's lead producer on the game, Eugene Harton, stated about the new version, quote, "The update itself contains multiple features and tons of content. Just to name the headliners, all new base building, a new implementation of vehicles, player restraining, leaning, and more. I'm excited about this first step to a more polished gameplay experience with more endgame goals to achieve," end quote. Harton also stated that they plan to stop work on new items or features to add to the game, with them instead focusing on bug fixes and overall polish. All of this is leading up to a full 1.0 release that they claim is still coming before the end of this year. DayZ was one of the first games that I purchased in early access, as I was a huge fan of the Arma 2 mod that preceded it. However, the long development time and lack of updates killed my enjoyment of the game years ago. Still, DayZ at its peak offered a very unique experience, one that still hasn't been recreated to this day. If the features bring the game back to anything close to its former glory, and if the team can actually reach version 1.0 by the end of this year, I just might have to dive back into the world of DayZ. A class action lawsuit has been filed against League of Legends publisher Riot Games. The lawsuit was filed by a current employee as well as a former employee of Riot Games, and accuses the publisher of gender-based discrimination and fostering a men-first environment. The lawsuit claims, quote, "Like many of Riot Games' female employees, plaintiffs have been denied equal pay and found their careers stifled because they are women. Plaintiffs have also seen their working conditions negatively impacted because of the ongoing sexual harassment, misconduct, and bias which predominate the sexually hostile working environment of Riot Games," end quote. The plaintiffs in the lawsuit are seeking compensation for unpaid wages and other damages. This doesn't come as too much of a surprise, as only a few months ago, Kotaku released an article detailing stories of the kind of gender-based discrimination female employees had dealt with in the past, and were still dealing with to this day. Current and former female employees reported having their careers with the companies held back or cut short, as well as all kinds of verbal and possible physical sexual abuse from other employees of the company, 80% of which is male. There are even reports that, when these women would complain to HR, the majority of the time nothing was ever done, and that sometimes these confidential meetings would be leaked to the person they were complaining about, often leading to repercussions for the women because they came forward. While Riot claims to have gotten rid of many of the people accused of this kind of behavior, as well as those who facilitated that kind of environment, a claim that has been backed up by former and current employees, it's good to see these women seeking compensation for what they had to go through. It's good to see Riot making changes, but the important thing is that they allowed this to happen in the first place. With this being filed as a class action lawsuit, it will be interesting to see who else steps forward and joins them. Well, that's all the news that I found interesting today. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.